All right, what's going on, everyone? My name's Seth Miranda. This is the return of Coffee with Creators. Welcome to 42 West 18th Street right here in New York. I got a bunch of animals behind me, but this is Adorama itself. You're looking at Adorama at 42 West 18th Street behind me. This is not a green screen. So if you're in New York, come through. Where you been? What's up? It is Filmmaker Week, but before we get to that, I wanted to say thanks to our first sponsor for the show, Flashpoint, the in-house brand for Adorama. So if you've been looking to elevate, build out a kit, didn't want to kill yourself on the price, but really wanted to have some kit that you can really create and do things with,
Yes.
massive amount of options. There's a link down below to the whole array of Flashpoint stuff, and it's Flashpoint, which is Adorama's brand, which means they stand by it, all right? So check out all the options. If you have any questions, jump in the chat, write a comment, or write your local congressman. Okay, boom. With me today for the first episode, I'm actually kind of bored of these guys, but I figured you should know about them. This is the Adorama content team, basically. So you're looking at the core of the content team with the two senior producers. I'm not a senior producer. I didn't make it a varsity yet. But I got Fernando Martinez on the left, senior producer for AdoramaTV, filmmaker in his own right, run and gun type guy. And I've got Sal D'Alia, who's also a senior producer, but you might have seen some of his projects like TTL, the Masters series, New York Rhapsody. I mean, the list goes on, and you've been collecting trophies ever since. So I figured I'd bring you on.
We are not bored about you, by the way.
You're not bored by me?
No, it's impossible to be bored about you.
Yeah.
I like how you talk like slow and sleek, and I'm like yelling in your face. If you didn't, he's from Sicily. It happens. So it is Filmmaker Week. If you guys haven't noticed, we've been putting up a lot of content for filmmaking. Last night, we had Matteo here talking about how he used the FX6 on a really amazing film. You guys have been, I think between the three of us, we've hit every single brand and type of setup on the planet. And you guys have seen it, got to be 10 years now on AdoramaTV.
Close to.
Yeah,
Right?
10 years.
Getting
So dynamic. This is film.
10 years.
You know, this is what filmmakers are.
Yeah, we're
They're-
probably somewhere around like 8 years, I think. Like within like the full production, but in terms of like doing like the NPAs, like switching cameras as much as we do now has been definitely the past 5 years where we really have run the gamut of
I have to
everything.
explain what MPA is.
Yeah,
Oh,
NPA,
sorry, yeah.
just so you guys know, stands for New Product Announcements. So last night, Nikon released the full-frame retro camera, the ZF. That's an NPA. We filmed that. I literally dropped tools from building the event space. We went to my studio, shot it, and you know those are done in a few hours. We have a very short window to shoot those NPAs.
Yeah.
And then we got to relay to you guys what's awesome about it. We also got to know how to use the thing beforehand.
And if it's not a 001 firmware
Prototype.
We get a lot of prototype that we need to deal with, or sometimes we don't get an app, and
That's
thing
the best
needs an
part of
app.
MPAs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, use that drone without the app.
You know how you guys go on
You're
YouTube.
complaining. I love it.
You know how you guys go on YouTube to let me learn how to use this. We don't have that.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions in the chat, just hit a bunch of capital Qs before it so we can grab it in the chat. You guys are flying by. I can see all five of you. I just want to say what's up to Talent Photography NYC, Brian Kilgore, Photo Sapiens, Ben, what's going on? And I want to say what's up to Brulita Coffee because this is Coffee with Creators. So take your obligatory. Oh, so full of
It
body
is.
and
It is really good, actually.
But we wanted to keep it local because I think it's important that New Yorkers help New Yorkers, and so we kept it local with Brulita. So if you're down, where's it? Where's Brulita? Mulberry Street. By the way, that was the famous Mary Irene, by the way, in the back. You guys know who that is.
Woo!
Oh, from Stockholm, Sweden. Oh, hey, what's up, Ramo? So we're always going, I feel like full tilt here because the industry is going full tilt. And even though we kind of wanted to bring you guys on as filmmakers, the majority of what we're doing now is content creation. I think that's the majority of anybody. You can work on a giant film production only so much. You're going to be doing in between stuff, smaller projects, and I think that's more who we're talking to anyway, right? So if you had to give at least one piece of advice to getting started with single person production, where would you go with that? What's your one piece of advice to get going?
Honestly, shoot every day. It's like never stop shooting because the whole thing is adapting. So being adaptable to different situations. That's the whole thing of being like a one man filmmaker, one man crew, however you want to call it. But it's like if you shoot every day in different situations, even wherever you are, doesn't matter where you live or stuff like that, you get experience. You just learn new things, and then you can use it on actual jobs.
All of the mistakes you're going to make in the beginning are what's going to prepare you for the next. And, you shot something on Rec 709, and then you're like, I should have shot log, or then you shoot log, like, I should have corrected like that. Everything just keeps, piling up on top of that, where that's where, Sal's advice of shoot every day, because the more you shoot, the more you're going to learn.
Try to make those mistakes on your own, not with clients, if you can.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean,
that goes for any creative field, I feel. But with filmmaking specifically, as a guy who came from stills, who got thrown into this world of video, I mean, I built a multicam system when I'm not a video guy. So I'll say film the same thing a few times. So the way I actually learned to put together a story was I filmed something that I would do so mundane every day, like how I get to my studio. I filmed where I get the train, how I get the train, is there tension, am I worried about being late? And I built a narrative based with no audio, like not no audio, narrative. Yeah. So I think that's kind of a good way to get going, is try to tell the same story till you really hone it down.
And that's the other thing, like you can be a video guy or a filmmaker and don't know anything about multicam setups, because it's like a different world, right? So it's something that you have to kind of like learn, go on YouTube, go online, and just start researching how to make it happen.
Whoa, Sam Beret is in the chat. Sam is one of our guys who has been doing a lot of videos. Actually, you did the R5C video with us.
Yes.
What was the other one? The R6II video, the Canon R6II video, and he's also done some Filmmaker Week projects.
We actually have a Filmmaker Week project coming out today at 5, I believe, from Sam. Oh, so stay tuned.
Convenient. That's so convenient.
Yeah.
And Keith Alexander's in the chat. If you guys don't know Keith, he is like the legendary audio guy ever. He has a backlog of audio tutorial videos here on AdoramaTV that are priceless, and I think we overlook audio really easily.
I wish I had his voice.
I know.
Oh my God.
It's so silvery.
Please do your imitation of Keith.
Keith, I do not do an imitation of
him
ever. I
yes,
swear.
He does. Please do it.
Well, Keith has a famous video where he was asked questions, and they were like, "So what's like your favorite sound?" Like the slow rumble of the ocean, and I was like, "Man, everything with this guy is so drama," and I love listening to what he has to say, and he makes you really want to go
ASMR. Keith Alexander.
He's walking ASMR.
He's laughing, okay.
So Kurt in the chat is asking, some things that are required for work like NPAs, but life being so busy, how do you stay creative for your own personal work? Oh, you had to go there?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you find the time first.
Where do we start?
Which is not easy. Basically, what I would say is it usually has something to do outside of the industry, because a lot of what we do is the industry, is, cameras, lenses, lights, and such, that whenever I'm thinking of what I would do projects outside of this, it usually has something to do with, something that's outside of what we normally do on the day-to-day, and then try to find inspiration like that. Either it's like a story that or somebody or a story you want to relate to somebody else that has nothing to do with tech, nothing to do with specs. We're trying to, put that away, because all that's very, very important for this. But that's where I go, at least. I don't know about you.
Honestly, for me, it's hard. I don't have a real solution for that problem. I would say for the last few years, well, before the pandemic, but it's mostly try to actually put together work with what you want to do in a way. So trying to find out, a creative way. If you want to work with an artist, if you want to work, like with a dancer, let's say, or someone like that, you try, okay, how can I make this work with with my work, with my actual job, So that was kind of like my solution for a while. Now actually you caught me like in a moment where I kind of like, that's hard. That's like straight hard. I got 2 kids and all that. It's not easy.
I think in the end of creativity or any type of thing like this, you have to want to do it, period, right? Like it's always a nice idea to have like, hey, I made this, but you have to go make that. And that's the hard work. And that's where it really separates who's really doing this and who just has the nice idea of doing this. So you have to find something you're into, passionate about, and that should be enough fuel for you to go step into it. For me, the hardest thing is to start it. But once I'm in it, like, there's nothing else. I got to get through it. I got to finish it. I need to see where this goes. But to get off that couch and, put down Mortal Kombat that just came out last night, I still can't get around to playing it, and go.
And your fingers are all...
My fingers are killing me. But it really is. I think a lot of the struggle is people don't realize maybe they just don't want to do that. They have to... It's... A long time ago, I was with this girl, and I was like, yeah, I don't read too many books. She's like, you just haven't found a book you want to read. And I was like, damn. And you know what? I've read every graphic novel since. So no, but it's true. If you're not really into it, it's almost like we feel obligatory
Seth's
to go
dating
film, right?
advice.
Yeah, don't take my advice. No, but I think it's sometimes you have to separate wanting to do it between feeling obligatory about it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, the way I see it for a lot of people is as soon as they're like, well, I want to do this, but I want to get paid for it.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, and I get it when you're in the professional realm or whatever. But if it's a project you're actually genuinely passionate about, you're gonna get it done. And I feel that's a line right there. Like if you feel that you have to get paid for every single thing you do, especially outside of your day job, quote unquote, then you don't really care that much about it, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the other thing. That's okay. You could, for a lot of people, this is just a job. And they can just disconnect, and they can just
it's a fun job, but it's still a job.
Yeah, it's still a lot of work. So
I think there are two different layers to it. Like one is if you have, let's say, a story that you need to tell, right, as a storyteller, and like you had to get it out somehow, then you have to do it. Doesn't matter how. Doesn't matter, money, time, stuff like that. You have to make it happen, because if not, you're gonna feel horrible about it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one layer. The other layer is also do not be too lazy, right? Like even just like take your camera, go out on the streets, take photos, do some street photography, right? Or do some portraits of people that you don't know, right? Just like, go talk to people and take portraits. That's good for you. That's just like experience that, keeps you also creative and helps you in your also daily job.
Yeah, and if you're stuck on anything, the easiest thing you can do to just kind of get a little bit of the rust off the wheels, film yourself, shoot yourself, do a self-portrait. You're there, it's your time, and you can kind of see, you're getting both worlds behind and in front of the camera. It really does change a lot. And if you're really stuck and you're creatively really in a rut, do something completely on the left. So like you always shoot color, only do black and white for the next month. You always use that lens, and you're never touching that lens for the next 2 weeks. Like really put yourself into a place where you're thinking different, and you'll stop at that lethargic, apathetic, where is this going? Because I know what it is, right? You put something out there and your mom hits like on it, and that's about it, right? Like we're in an age where people just need validation for what they put out there, and it's got to happen now. Sometimes you need to find that validation that you did it and you're happy with it. And I just like being able to show something that I did, even if it never went anywhere, So I think that's really important to find the projects you really want to do and really care about.
The difference there is when you want to do something for the validation or when you want to do something for the craft.
Dope. That. And Keith Alexander, give me the biggest cliche in the world. Doing something you love is never work. And if you want to hear a guy be excited about what he does, watch Keith Alexander's video. That dude is like, I just heard a cricket. Oh, it's amazing.
Beautiful.
There's 27 notes in this cricket. I mean, it's incredible. But then you get, it's infectious, right? And also, one of the things you can do to kind of get yourself going and find personal projects, find community. And I'm not just saying that as a shout out to the event space where you guys should all come through, but if you're in a vacuum and you're isolated, you're not talking to someone about stuff like these guys, I'm sitting next to them all day, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that movie is dope. Oh, that would be a cool look. And next thing you know, it's like influencing your work somehow, right? Get next to someone that's into what you're doing or can supplement it. Get someone that can film you while you're shooting stills. Next thing you know, you got a YouTube channel. Then Daniel Norton's pulling you into event space. And what do you know?
It was very different. It was very different to me as soon as I started hanging out with more photographers coming from a filmmaker background, because filmmakers are all about community. Like there's always going to be certain level of competition, especially for certain roles, but
you need people to actually make it happen.
Yeah, and even like back in college, like at least our department at UT was, a mixture of, theater and filmmakers, and, we would get the actors from the theater department, we would do all the projects, and it was like a big community situation. As soon as I started interacting with more photographers, I noticed they were definitely more on the silo side of things, but then you have people like a Joe McNally who would just be like, put you under his wing and be like, hey, no, this and that. There are people in the industry that are, willing to share their knowledge and be part of that community if you are willing to.
Yeah, and a guy like Joe really considers himself a storyteller before a photographer. If you talk to him. So like that alone, That's why he's directing films now, because he's like, well, I'm not going to learn how to shoot, but I'll hire the right guys and I'll put it together. It's really easy to get stuck in a vacuum and siloed, and things like this chat room that you guys are in are kind of where you meet it. Adorama's Discord, stuff like that is a really good place to share work, get feedback. Because how many times you put something out there like, this is, look at how sick this is, and then people are like, yeah, your white balance looks like garbage, and like, it's easy. It's easy to get stuck in this little realm. But one of the other things that I think is good is to, if you are looking to get paid for it, find something that forces you to go do it as a job. Like, I'm not saying I'm forced to do this job, but like Fernando's shaking me going, no, we have to film this Wednesday, let's go. Makes me go shoot those photos I probably wouldn't have shot for that video. And it's crazy, but that's how you work. You're like, I really want to film this. How can I make a series out of this for Adorama?
Well, I remember the Fuji F1 video that I was insisting, like, no, we need 2 different setups. You can do your lighting setup in the studio, which we were really excited to. And I was like, no, let's go outside as well and get some daylight. And just to have like the variety and show off the lens as best as possible. You're like, okay, we'll see. And some of your favorite ones were the ones outside.
He says this all the time. Listen, so the Fuji video he's talking about is an F1 autofocus lens. So there's 2 properties of that, right? Low light and shallow depth field for those Instagram kids. Great. So I said, I'm going to shoot her using nothing but broken monitors, because if you're looking at a monitor as a light source, it's not burning your eyes out. It's a low light source. We were walking by Union Square, and his face was like, I have no idea what you're saying to me. I have no idea how. And he's
when
like,
you were first pitching it,
yeah. And he's like, you should go outside and shoot outside. I'm like, no. And because we clashed, we ended up going past each other in a weird way. And that video made it to Hypebeast. It's probably one of our favorite videos that I think we've done.
It was really fun to shoot.
It was awesome. It was one of the first ones right when we got out of COVID's lockdown. So we were like amped to get like that era. By the way, when we finally got out, I feel like we did some of the best videos.
Yeah, we were just itching to do something. Yeah,
clear. Like the head was clear. I was like, let's do this.
Well, see, Sal on the other hand, he was itching during COVID, and that's why he shot like that ad with your family.
Yeah,
Sal did everything from a room.
Yeah,
he was in a room. Like, you want to talk about creating no matter what? This guy was in a room just like Silent Hill 5, and you guys have to know what that is, right? Yeah, thank you, Marcus. That was one of the best F1 videos. I'll take that. And as far as what's a great laptop to start off with for editing photos, you have to determine your budget on that. And you also then have to pick a platform, whether you want to do Mac or PC. So you're kind of asking a super vague question, but let's talk this out. So let me know what budget you're looking at and which platform you're looking at, okay?
So Brad is asking that he's saying that he has a lot of problem kind of like getting started with a project, or when he has an idea for a movie. Then, any advice to
Brad? You're crazy. You have one of the craziest jobs on earth. This guy is doing tow trucks in the middle of blizzards in Canada, saving lives and going through. Document yourself.
Yeah,
are you kidding me,
actually.
Man? There's literally Ice Road Truckers is a game and
it's a video game
series. Like, bro, are you kidding me? And also, this is what I love about Adorama, is that I know who Brad is, I know he shoots Canon, and I know what he does for a living, and I love this. So I would be like, start as close as you can to yourself, so it's not something extra on top of what you're doing, but integrated into what you're doing, and you'll be really, really surprised. I mean, look, I got lucky shooting FX and zombies because I just like being around all that stuff to begin with, right? So, it's not work, but when it does get serious, you respect it more, and I think it gives you a work ethic towards things that maybe aren't something you're passionate about, but you get the work ethic, right?
Usually, I agree. Usually what I do to kind of get an idea started is if there's a concept or an idea or something that interests me, and then I try to find either a genre element to try to connect it. I don't want to go, I don't know, if it were to be, climate change, whatever it would be, the subject matter that you want to kind of cover. I don't want to hit it over the head. I was like, hey guys, let me tell you kids. Like, no, I want to put it in a metaphor. I want to make sure that you subvert however you want to.
Artistic and deep.
Yeah.
So deep.
Ready say like company
puddle.
won't allow it, but that's when like the creative idea comes in place, because the company won't allow you to document yourself. How else can you tell those stories, right? Yeah. You can make it in fiction, or you can make it in a way that you tell the story without actually showing footage of you, doing it. There are like different ways to tell.
A good
stories.
example of that is the movie Chef by John. Yeah, now of course Favreau. Yeah, from Jon Favreau. So that movie about this chef losing his groove and just getting too much into the restaurant industry it's literally him and his career as a filmmaker.
That movie, it's so deep and all these amazing moments. And the only one that always sticks to me is like, oh, what are you talking about? That's a perfectly good hotel pan. Never knew those were called hotel pans, and now I know. That's too. But
For me, it was the grilled cheese. The grilled cheese scene.
The grilled cheese.
That's like-
If you haven't seen this movie, you now have homework, and hit us up in the comments after you watch that.
But that's a great example of like, you know, he could have made a movie about a director that, you know, just kind of lost himself in the studio system, which was what happened to him, and how he went back and did an indie film to, you know, kind of like get himself back in the game. But he made it about a chef. And it's exactly the same metaphor, but in the food industry.
So I think this is super important because Fernando is the guy that does the supplemental work to creative projects when he like, oh yeah, this show is good. Well, did you know that it was actually about her sister who had a one left foot that was really hurt when she was cold out? Like he gives you this soliloquy of what actually it was about, and you're like, oh, now it makes so much more sense. I wish he started a YouTube channel where he deep dives into the other sides of things so you can appreciate
so
stuff
many
more.
other people that are way better than me at that.
See, he already doubts himself. Do not be this guy. So type in the chat, do not be Fernando. And we'll listen, the reality is that we're doing things today that were impossible before. I'm literally able to have a stabilized camera that films for me and tracks my head like someone's filming anywhere I go in my pocket the size of an inhaler. There's no excuses anymore. You have to want to do it. So yeah, your company won't allow it. Like Sal says, what's the way to get around that? Can you do a dramatization of it? Is there some way to find someone that has a similar story as yours and go document them? So now I can relate to a guy who may have an independent tow truck company, if I'm a tow truck driver, and know what moments are key to film, rather than being an outsider that doesn't know what's supposed to be shot and what is really in depth about it, you know?
Yeah, but even like you can take like the craziest story that he has, right, and make a short movie in like one night.
Yeah.
In one night with like a couple of friends or something. Like that.
One night. Here's this guy.
One night only.
He's not wrong. Back in Texas, we used to do the film races.
Like it matters.
Within 24 hours and 48 hours, and we would execute a whole project within that time.
Well, we always talk about when we do the NPA videos that are done in like a 6-hour time frame. We're like, it's almost like we're back in 101. Like, here's a camera, go film with your friends and come back. And it really does feel like that sometimes. Yeah. And then it's like you have to talk in front of a camera. Like, what are the specs? Okay, all right. I feel like those NYU kids are at Union Square, like doing their first thing with a 5D Mark IV, being like, okay, everyone, I'm here. Yeah, like it's like that.
It 100% feels like that. But then you see the final product, it's like, oh shit, you know what? It's not that bad.
I'll be honest. Lately, like my NPA videos, I've every single one of them. I'm like, Fernando, let me record half of that over again because I think it was stupid. And he's like, it's not as bad as you think. And then it's not as bad as you think. The ZF video that came out at midnight, I went to him for like a month of like, let me record that over. Let me do it again. Let me do it at home.
And then I said yes, and you were like, okay, I'm going to do it.
And then I got swallowed. I couldn't. I'm just lucky we have talented editors, and you have to trust yourself to some degree that you did okay, even if your memory is shot of what you actually
Lots
did.
of editing.
Yeah, that's about
Well,
it.
you are all. I mean, your editing. I envy your editing skills. Like no more. You can do in an hour what will take me a week to figure out. Like it's unbelievable. And
That's like 15 years of practicing.
exactly,
It's like-
that's what it is, right? It's not the 30 seconds someone paid you for to do it. It's the lifetime to get to be able to do it in that short a time frame. That Picasso quote, whatever it is, right?
Hey, Teresa.
Teresa, what's
from
up?
Italy.
It's my homeland.
Hey Seth, is there a camera with 666 firmware? We need a video. Got you 2 hours. Yeah. So you want to hear a horror story? How about you get a prototype camera? They tell you got 2 hours, and then it rejects every memory card you put into it because it's not ready to receive memory cards. What do? Well, they call a tech, and you wait on pins and needles for them to send you firmware that doesn't exist just so you can do that video and have half the time you thought you were going to have. And that's where I kind of feel there's the honor in what we do is that we can handle it, that we've been thrown every curveball, and we stay calm, we move forward. No solution comes from freaking out, and you have to trust that everything you've done up to that point is what made you be able to do it now, right?
Or like raw JPEGs. How many cameras, we cannot actually open the raw files
None.
from it.
0 cameras you can open the raw.
The occasional one.
Some.
For the most part, like
package.
95%.
You have to go around there. But at the same time, it's also important to see how a camera can handle JPEGs straight out of the camera.
Well, that's the other reason why we always put that, these are pre-production cameras, because we're getting JPEGs. We can't manipulate them anyway. Right. So whatever the camera's spitting out is what we're putting up there.
And that goes back to the philosophy of the brand. How do those cameras process that image the way that camera brand thinks that image should be rendered? Because there's no really true image. It's what that camera thinks red is. But JPEGs, that is That is the slang of the camera. That is like, here you go. There's no pulling back those highlights. There's no fixing if your lighting was wrong. And I think every person that we get as a host that isn't one of us goes, what do you mean I can't shoot raw? What am I going to do? But if I can't have raw, how am I going to do my presets? And what are they going to do? How will I tell my story?
It's tough. No, but in all seriousness, like it is tough for people that are not used to like flying without without
a week. It's not good for the week.
But that's why, for example, I reviewed a flagship camera for a brand, right?
Yep.
And I had to shoot, JPEGs because I couldn't open the RAW files. And then with the JPEGs, I was actually able to get back the all the blown highlights and stuff like that. It was kind of like, oh, this is good. Like this actually camera spits out very good files. So just imagine what you can do with the RAW files.
Yeah. No, go for it.
No, Marcus is asking if that was the C7 video. It wasn't, but that was a challenging shoot as well.
I don't want to say what video it was because I don't want to talk about a brand being whatever. The Z7 video was, you know what? It was a legit nightmare. I'm not going to hide this one. That video was so tough. No, Fernando.
It was very difficult.
We go out to Long Island in the morning.
24 hours before.
24 hours straight.
Yeah.
Went to Long Island in the morning. Get the spiel on the biggest change in this brand's history.
It was the first mirrorless camera.
From Nikon. They
yeah.
give it to us, has no serial number on it. Literally, the serial number was Steve, who was arm's length from me every second. And then, but I got to give them credit. When I had to go talk about it, I said, well, what do you want me to say about it? He says, I don't care what you say. Speak from the heart. Like, that's how confident they were, and I have to respect that. The problem was you can't let anyone see the camera before it's released. They don't want leaks, right? Because all those rumor sites, all those YouTubers, right? So we were like, let's go shoot something with it that'll be awesome. Like, all right, I'm going to get an FX artist. She's going to do a sea creature. Okay, what's a sea creature going to be at? Let's go to an aquarium. Can't get the aquarium. We find the sea glass carousel here in New York. Okay, it's a carousel. Guess what that means? It's open, which means anyone can see in there. So what do? For first thing in the morning, me and Fernando are waiting outside here for it to open so we get rolls of black seamless. In the summer, it was 1,000,000 degrees.
And whoever is a New Yorker in the chat, that carousel, and it's all glass, so we had to roll the 6-foot seamless.
That was a genius idea, though. I gotta say,
that was a great idea.
That was genius. It cost us like a whole $100 to black out the thing, which was cool. But then you're realizing the sun is beating down on black paper. There is no ventilation. It's just like my glasses are fogging up. My shirt is see-through. The model's late 2 hours. We were supposed to do this at night while they were closed with no sunlight affecting the shot because the whole place is glowing with LEDs, but they don't glow in LEDs when the sun comes in.
Yes.
So I had 20 minutes by the time she showed up to get this done.
Fun times.
It was firmware, what was it, like 0.8?
Yeah.
So it wasn't done.
Very early.
And it got so bad that I was like, can I please take this to my studio? I had to plead with them, like, can we do another set at my studio? We go back to the studio, we finish the video.
With the 50 millimeter.
And then what did I wake up to the next day when that video came out? Not, oh, that was awesome. Not, what a hard shoot. It was, there's only one card slot. You're horrible, Seth. You'd invented this camera. Why is it like this? Tell me why you made this way. You do not deserve this.
It was still good. I mean, watch the video, but go to the end.
Oh, shut up.
Just so you can see how Seth
tells me that
is
you
like
shoot
destroyed.
with one slot card? Like, is that?
Well, ironically,
you cannot get the job done with one slot card?
Ironically, there's one card slot and plenty of cameras now, and no one says that it's the end of the world. It's just, this is the perspective of the industry and the skew of a public that just want to hear a narrative, and people are just happy to be negative. It's weird. Yeah. But yeah, the end of that video was delirious. Like, that was prime time Seth. I'm just going to say. But we got through it, and I always think about that video being one of the hardest so that when Fernando does shake me off my hammock and go, I need you, let's go. I'm like, all right, whatever it is, I can do it, you know?
Yeah.
But you have to build that up as yourself as creators, right? What are some stuff you guys are doing in the chat that has been some of the hardest projects you've done? And do you look back to those projects when you have to step up to the next one? Because I think that's the callus, right? You build a callus.
Yeah.
You know, you
like a little callus, yeah. A little my hand, yeah.
What is this, 20 minutes? Do you take some time to have water break after? It seems like you had it done in 15 minutes. It was so hot that day. We were done.
It was very, very hot. It was very hot, and it's a greenhouse.
It was a greenhouse.
It's basically a greenhouse. We're surrounded by glass. I mean,
and it was at a time where we were still in between things. Like, we were still using AA batteries and flashes back then, and like there weren't like real trigger systems for speed lights. Like, it was a longer time ago than you think. Longer time ago, man.
A longer time ago.
I'm gonna take English lessons.
And we were in the middle. We were coming up with that idea when we were in the middle of a Pro Photo NPA. don't know if you remember that.
yeah.
We're literally in the middle of another one.
Yeah, I know exactly. Okay, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. No.
It was, so Marcus is
Too
saying my
many
philosophy is
MPAs.
that you can't shoot something with a camera made in the last 5 years. It's not the camera. Cameras are trying to get more and more automated so that people can pick them up and just go create and go do things. They're taking some things off our plates, but it still doesn't know what you want to do as a creator. I mean, it's all the automated stuff. I think you and me, whenever we get a new camera, we just shut off everything and go full manual anyway.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't know what you're trying to do. You're a big fan of the automation.
I think so, yeah, because it just unleash your creativity, right? Like that's what it's supposed to do. Automation in general, just like focus on your image, you know, the way that you want to create your image. You know, working with your actor, model, and all that stuff. That's what automation is supposed to do.
And I agree with Sal in that sense that when you get it working, that the only thing for us, the hard part is that you need the time dedicated to get it to work.
Yes.
And we don't have that time. So, but yeah, when you do get it to work, when you rely on great autofocus, it's amazing.
I actually get a kick out of revisiting the gear after the launch because I just want to see what actually came.
It changes so much.
Oh, remember when Lumix had the grip was different? Like it was actually had like a different. This sounds so nerdy. Like you felt so much different. So Memory Picks Films asks what camera lens.
Isn't the a nerd channel? Like we are a nerd channel.
Yeah,
like, we're supposed to be
we
a
are
nerd,
a nerd channel. Yeah, he's right.
So let's nerd out.
All right, fair.
No, but like the XH2S from when we did the MPA to when we shot another MPA of a lens like 2 months later to 6 months later, it was so freaking different. So different. Have a camera every single time.
Well, what's also cool is the firmware. It was such a cool era for the firmware. You're getting features that are basically like a next camera that they would put out on the market. It's. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole really quick, but
yeah, not all brands do that, right?
Listen, you Sony Collective member, I'm sorry, but you know things have brand philosophy, and there's things that some brands prioritize other things. And I just put a video like this on my channel. You guys can go watch it. It's a 20-minute rant. But Memory Picks Films asking what camera and lens are we using for this live stream. This is a Nikon Z6 II in the 50mm 1.8 cheap lens, nice and shallow, very low cost camera, and
looks nice, right, guys?
And I built a PC that was able to do this resolution to do this. So I'm glad you guys are getting it. This is the quality that we strive for. It's a reflection on us. We can't talk trash about stuff and not actually deliver, right?
Yeah, I know.
What are we looking at here? Don't forget the video. Oh yeah, please everybody hit like in the video. We're looking at a whole 60 of you. Go ahead and hit like. I know this is not par for the course on this channel. We started another channel called Adorama Events. So if you're looking for the live demos and all the stuff that's happening out of here with this, look at this young creator taking a picture of the window right now. Yeah.
You're actually taking a picture.
Wait a second. A kid's using a camera, not a phone. Get this kid in here right now.
We should probably explain.
Oh yeah, we're looking at the window.
What's happening? Yes.
Yeah, we're facing the window.
We see like New York streets right in front of us with people taking photos of our store window.
In the chat, why don't you guys let us know what stuff you're shooting with, what you're filming with, what you're trying to do. It's a back and forth. That's the whole point of this being live is that you guys are part of it. So every Wednesday at 11 a.m., I'm going to be here. These guys are slacking off. This guy, I don't know what he does, but we're going to go and we're going to be here with someone next week. Is going to be Daniel, so stick around for that. But if you guys have any questions, let us know in the chat. I feel like you know this channel so well if you're plugging into this live stream. I'll say that right now.
Where's that other camera view? Brad is asking.
Listen, Brad.
I know.
Come on, Seth.
You just walked down here 5 minutes ago with a freaking mug. You're going to start talking to me like this? Are you kidding me?
We got to hurry up, Seth. I'm running low.
Yeah, what time are we at? We need a clock. All right, cool. Oh, my landlord fixed my window. Awesome. So, Raul, you've been a long time guy in the chat for sure, using the Sony A7 IV, but mostly personal projects, mask costumes. I'm a weirdo. Raul, you want to do not spar with me on weirdo. All right?
What type of projects do you do, Raul?
Canon 80D. Let me tell you how many people like stride for that camera when it first came out. Very nice, very cool. And remember, just because it's DSLR doesn't mean it's outdated. If it's still shooting images that you like, it is the camera you're supposed to be using.
Yep.
Simple. All right? And don't forget about the used department. So if you're looking for some stuff for like a DSLR, you might want to check out Adorama's used department for the lenses and save yourself a bunch of cash, you know? Actually, I don't even think Canon's been discontinuing the DSLR lenses, so you can only do used.
Is that the case?
For some, yeah.
For some.
EF mount.
No, I know, but I think they're still putting out a couple of like L's. and
L's,
stuff.
yeah.
The L series.
The L series is nuts.
Yeah.
They did a good job on that. Steve Land is shooting a Z9 wedding and portraits. Joel M is shooting with a Z30. Yeah, you don't need an EVF. Who needs an EVF, right? Cool. The XH2 and the XH2S, I think, were one of the challenging videos for us because it was so back to back and the cameras were so similar.
Yeah, but I think that's why we focused on like the H2S. We literally put the MKX cinema lenses, the cinema zooms.
You did.
Well,
You did.
Well, I'm saying we as
You
in
did.
we all worked into it, Seth.
We rarely do a video together. I think that's one of those rare. That was one of those rare videos where you and me double teamed it.
And it's usually Fuji because they're trying to,
We're
cover
both fans
both
of Fuji. What are you kidding? What are you
That's
kidding?
what I'm
We're
saying.
both
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Everybody likes Fuji.
Yeah.
You know, it's the guy that's not trying to like flex. He's just like, I'm doing my thing, man. I'm gonna put out a medium format, whatever. And it's an awesome medium format. If you haven't seen Ab Cissay's video, hopefully I can get Ab in here. I love that guy. If you haven't seen any of Ab's videos on this channel, check out Level Up with Ab Cissay because it literally is leveling up. That dude is, oof.
like the definitive C-stand video.
No, not C-stand. I did the C-stand.
Oh, you did the C-stand.
He did the para video.
Well, he did the para video, but no, he did something else that was
The light
grip.
stand video.
The light stand. Sorry,
Light
that's
stand
what I was
video.
thinking.
Yeah, he actually went around not doing C-stands. Like, there's so many other stands that people don't know about. And that's what I love about this guy. He's trying to find the stuff that he wants to see. I feel like this. Oh, now the chat's alive. Where were you guys 5 minutes ago? Here we go. D850 cars and motorcycles. You sound like my dad. Fuji is that. What? Fuji is that hipster? I do what I want company. Why do they call him a hipster company?
I don't know.
They're just cool.
I think because they have
Because a lot of hipsters use Fuji. Maybe.
Yeah, I think because they have their
You don't
Instax
think hipsters
line.
use Sony?
Well, especially now, I think it's mostly for the X100. You know, like
The X100 is a unicorn.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
now it became kind of like that
Because it's
fashionable, cool.
Yeah.
camera that everybody
Because
wants.
someone on TikTok said it was cool, but they don't actually think it's cool.
No, fine, but it doesn't matter. It's
camera.
still there.
X100V versus GR3. I really want a GR3. I gotta tell you.
I know you do.
I have an X100V and I love it, but I just want both.
Like everybody wants the X100V, and you're like, maybe I should get somebody else. The grass is always greener, Seth.
I use my X100V all the time. I don't want to hear it.
I
was
know-
one of the
I know.
first people- We wrote 2 love letters to
You're a
X100
hipster.
series on this channel.
You're an hipster, Seth.
I'm a hipster.
You're a hipster, yes.
Look, I'm a janitor at best.
You still have your D850, right?
I will never get rid of the D850. That I always keep the very last of a generation. So
Great
I have my
camera.
F6, which is my last film camera. I'll keep my D, and also the D850 has a really special place because it was the first product video I ever did for Adorama.
Oh, that's right.
I was sick out of my mind during that video. If you watch that video, I look and sound like hell, but it was so rad to have a camera that serial number was 00009. It was sick. And then everything we did that were Haymaker videos, like the Paris video, all those crazy videos were all
Yeah.
D850. So when I look at that camera, it's like, what am I really going to get? A few bucks for it? Or do I keep that one optical viewfinder?
Every
that
few
one,
years,
you
I
know?
think there is like a camera that almost makes history in a way, right? It becomes kind of like
Yes.
that camera for
Yeah,
like
the
a decade.
A7 III,
The Canon 5D.
The Canon 5D.
Like,
Canon 5D Mark IV, Mark II.
Mark II was
made
the
a big
first
deal.
one, yeah.
But the A7 III for Sony set the benchmark for the $2,000 price point. The Z9, I think, is a banger.
To me, it was the A7S for Sony. I
Yeah,
think that's
the
the
first
one
7S.
that like
Not only
maybe as a video
guys,
guy, maybe as a
Yeah,
video guy,
true,
but
true.
but I want to say that was a
Get over here, come
that
here.
was the first one.
First of all, this shirt, I got to give you props. What's your name, kid?
Cormac.
What are you shooting with? I saw you come up to my window with a camera, and I got to tell you, it's always kids with phones. But I was very happy to see that someone of your generation is using a camera. Can you let me know what camera that was?
Lumix.
You got to get some energy, kid. You know you're like a kid, right?
Oh, there you go.
Come on, step up. You're out of focus. We're in shallow depth of field. You know what depth of field is?
No.
Okay, so depth of field is the part of the frame that's actually in focus. So when you look at this image, you see how everybody's out of focus? That's called shallow depth of field. So we're in the focus point right now. So if you were back here, you're soft focus, right? So why this camera?
Because
Why a camera, not a phone?
I don't have a phone yet. So
You don't have a phone yet? I don't blame you.
that's the right way, actually. That's the right way.
What compels you to take photos with this camera?
I just like it better.
Yeah, but what are you looking for when you're shooting? You're just trying to document your day? Is there something you're trying to get out of it?
This is my first time in New York. I'm just trying to document.
It's your first time in New York. Where are you from?
Oakland.
Oakland, welcome to New York, the best city in the world. And you're going to leave that place and come here one day and make something of yourself. He just said I will.
It's like
Yeah, there you go.
Oakland is exploding right now.
Do you have any images that you've shot that have stuck with you, like you always think about it when you're about to shoot, that you took, that you're super psyched on to show people?
Not really, because I had another camera before this. I don't really know what it was. This is my first time using this camera. I don't really know all the things that it can do, but I only have a few pictures on it, so I really have a favorite one.
Well, let me tell you something. You're in the best period of your creative career where nothing matters but what you want to shoot. Enjoy it, have fun with it, and don't let anybody bog you down with you should be doing this or that. Do what you want to do and shoot it how you want to shoot it. Do you put these photos anywhere like Instagram or Flickr or anything?
No.
Dad,
Just getting started. We're kicking things off.
how am I
There
going
you
to
go.
follow this kid's work now?
Gosh, what are we gonna do?
I would.
Also, as a father, shout out to Dad to giving a camera before a phone.
Yeah, let's give it.
Yeah, let's give it up for Dad.
So do you think you're going to go to like all the landmarks and shoot cool things, or are you going to look for the cool stuff that no one thinks about shooting? Everyone shoots the Wall Street Bull, you know? Don't you want to find those moments that other people don't get?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What do you keep a sharp eye for on the street? What is like the things? Is that bright colors? Is it what?
Just random people doing cool things.
People.
You're in the right city for that.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about actually asking them if you can shoot a portrait rather than trying to grab a shot, like go up to them?
That and I had breakfast at Johnny's Luncheonette, and I took a
Oh,
picture of.
Johnny's Luncheon is so good.
This guy only cares about food. So you just hit he's so
If you
warm.
want to know,
Look
like
at
the
him.
food spot is the right.
So what
is the right
happened
guy.
when you what made you want to ask that guy to take a portrait of him?
I don't know. He had like some cool piercings in an eyebrow and his nose, so it looked pretty cool.
Did it look cool or did it look like that guy's lost?
Both.
It's okay. Well, if you want to find some really weirdos, go to St. Mark's. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, and make sure your dad's really close.
Yeah.
The Bowery's got some interesting folks, but you can always go to Union Square or Washington Square Park and find a lot of performers. Washington Square Park actually has this one right now who's doing this thing where she's painting on the ground, and it's an interpretive dance. I really dig it. But I just want to keep you encouraged, man, because I think every time I see a kid out there, they're either not caring about what's around them or they're using their phone, and you have an actual tool here to do whatever you want with. This is a Panasonic LX3. This is, man.
That's actually a good camera.
It's a great
This is
camera.
optical image stabilization. You know what that means? You don't know what that means?
No.
What do you think stabilization of the camera means, just from the idea of what the title is?
I don't know.
So when you shake, you get blurry photos, right?
Yeah.
Well, if it's stabilized, the camera's kind of staying with the shaky. Don't do this. But if you're a little nervous because that guy has a piercing that looks like it's a little filthy, I get it.
No shaky photos.
It should no shaky photos. And you're in an era where like so much cool stuff and tools are just like right at your fingertips. It's crazy, man. Listen, you got to listen. We want to stay up on you, so Dad, let's try to start an Instagram for this kid. You keep it private. It's cool, man. We got to encourage this kid from shooting, man. I mean, this is so rare. I'm so psyched this just happened.
Washington Square Park, 10 minutes walk.
Does anybody
South.
in the chat have anything to say about? Wait, how old are you, by the way?
11.
11? Yeah, you're in prime time, like really seeing things. I'm telling you, just enjoy this time, because I'll tell you right now, when it comes to job, you get these guys breathing down your neck. They tell you what you got to do every day. I'll tell you, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Listen, man, I just want to say thank you for showing up and coming through. I really appreciate coming on the show. You can say what's up to everybody if you want. Say what's up to your mom.
Hi.
All right, thank you, McCorn. Thank you very much. No, you're supposed to leave the camera, dude. I don't know why you took that camera. You might want to check out the user bar for some other little small bangers, but what you might want to check out is some things like weird filters for that, something that'll make it a little creative, something really easy that you can throw on the camera and make some weird shots. What filter? Get over here. What filter are you using on the camera? What filter are you using on the camera?
Fisheye effect.
Fisheye effect is ill. Yeah. No, totally. But
So
you can get
Sal,
stuff-
how you
Skater.
been? Everything good? Everything good with you?
Listen, you guys have careers. You know what you can get is like soft focus filters that make the sun like blitz, and it looks cool, right? All that J.J. Abrams joint stuff, like I get it. You might want to see that guy with the mask, Joe. He'll tell you a bunch of cool, fun stuff you can get that's really low cost, really easy to do, and it'll make you really want to shoot.
Okay.
You're over this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, go get a real slice of pizza. Go to Artichoke. Go to Artichoke.
Look at Mr. Rogers over here talking to the youth.
That just gave me life. Are you kidding me? I got to talk to your bearded face and this freaking guy. No, I think stuff like
Every
that
day.
is where that kid is going to want to go shoot again. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, he's in this chat 15 years later doing cool things, or he's on our channel as a host. This is where it starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm
I mean,
with
you
you.
got kids that you are always encouraging creativity.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I also kept cameras like you, just because I'm thinking like I'm gonna give it to them, you know.
Well, you're also taking your kids to movies. Like you're always like,
yeah.
you're specifically feeding them the inspiration stuff.
There's a schedule. Like I can't show this movie until this age, and then at that point, you know,
I'm a,
Someone sell him a ZF. Leave the kid alone.
sell him a CF.
Sell him a ZF. Sell him a ZFC. Oh man, that was a lot.
That's good.
Do you guys have any questions in the chat? Let us know. I think I don't know if how I can top that
hour.
kid. I really don't know how I can do it. But this is why things are live. This is why we do things like this. This is why I favor live. I think you can't really beat in front of your face at the moment, really. And that's how we shoot.
that's also why it's fun to watch people watching a store window
I know.
from
I know, right?
inside. So
Well, it's
fun.
really funny when they don't see that you're seeing them and they're like
Yeah,
doing this, and you're like,
And the
"Am I in an
reflection.
interrogation room? Are they like not realizing I'm seeing them?" I think there's a question further up. I got to scroll up. That's too much work, guys.
Can you just repost it?
I love to see like faces like looking at the windows, like, oh, I want that lens. Ah, that
Oh,
camera.
Total newbie to video. What should I purchase to get started? A camera.
What do you want to
New to
do?
video.
I tell you the truth. If you're a newbie, are you filming with your phone already, or do you just automatically want to go into a camera? Because sometimes you just got to get
Yeah.
going.
How newbie are you?
How newbie?
Yeah, exactly. And also
But
like the budget. of
My
course.
my question for everything, and at one point I was literally on the floor asking people that did not know what they wanted, was what are you doing? Like, what do you want to do with it?
Also,
Because that dictates so much.
If you're starting out, like, don't get a cinema camera. Like, even if you have money,
Yeah,
don't
no,
get like a
seriously.
cinema camera. Like, just start with like an action camera or something like that. You know, something small where you can actually focus on. Like, okay, let's learn how to
You
tell a
laugh,
story.
but you know how many people just like have never did not do anything, and they were like, "Oh, I'm considering a red."
Okay.
Yeah.
So truth told, like you guys know Marissa, one of our favorite models. She wanted to get into filmmaking, and she went all in. She got the black magic. She went all over because she was like, I don't want to take steps. I want to just go. I want to learn this terminology. I want to know what that thing does. When she explained it to me that way, I was like, I gotta have respect for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, no, get yourself like an XT4. Start off like this. But she's like, no, like let me go in. And I there's something to that as well.
But it's fine, and I agree with you on that.
I'm trying to sell stuff, Fernando.
No, like she didn't get again, but she didn't aim for a red. She
No, she
started.
aimed for
She
red.
started like
Yeah.
But you could
entry
rent.
level.
You could also rent.
100%.
Yes.
which is very. The people think they don't like the idea of like not owning a piece of gear to do whenever they want, but that's actually what's going to help you the most if you want to produce, if you want to actually control a set and a project. It's scheduling.
Oh,
it's
you
all
and-
the
you and
boring
you and
stuff.
the
No, no,
organizer.
yeah, no.
Like, you and the
Honestly,
spreadsheets.
in my opinion, is what now is considered a vlogger camera, which is not just for vlogger, but it's something that is like, you know, under $1,000, right? And you can switch to manual if you want to actually learn how to use the camera manually. You can go automatic if you don't want to think about that. You want to think more about like, you know, the storytelling part of it. And they're small, they're lightweight. You can always put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to go.
Just something that you have on you and that you want to use is the most important thing to me sometimes. I'm going to pull up a very controversial thing here.
Oh boy,
Here we
Me
go.
and Fernando.
her boss is right there, guy.
She's chill. Me and Fernando, because it's a terminology thing. Me and Fernando are of the school of we don't think vlogging is a real thing anymore. We don't think vlogging is a market. We think that they put that
A
label
market,
on
a
cameras
market,
that will
not a
help
thing.
self-film, but those cameras really are just good video cameras. But as far as like vlogging goes, I mean, Fernando, hook it up. Like,
The only thing I agree for the most part, but in its defense, or just to play devil's advocate, the latest features, like within the last 6 months, even not even a year, of the cameras that are putting up as vlogger cameras are leaning slightly into, because when you put up a camera and it starts, cropping the frame, and
he
then
was on my side for months. I don't know what just happened.
yeah, exactly. And in the past 6 months,
It's
you've been
just
getting
terminology,
You've been
though.
getting it is
Terminology.
mostly
Because,
terminology. Yeah,
It's content
Our
creation.
YouTuber are things like
That's what I'm saying.
people actually as a job, they are YouTubers, right? And what we refer as vlogging camera are
Vlog.
just like, you know, people that do YouTube videos,
Yeah,
you know,
so-
which could be just like, you know, straight just talking into camera,
Okay.
could be many different things.
All right, fair. But this also is an industry that has at least a 2-year R&D cycle. So they hear the
Yeah.
word vlog and think it's a market. They go, oh, glue some stuff together and let's make a vlogging camera. And by the time it comes out, it's like we're really just content creators. We're just starting channels. How many of you started a channel because you were home forever during the pandemic, or you thought you could do this or whatever? There's more people creating content, shooting, filming than ever before. Ever before. Everybody's got the tools to do it now.
I don't like the word creator, but at the same time, it's part of our
You
daily
don't
life.
like the word creator.
I know. It's like it's
We're in coffee with what today?
something that now is the terminology, so we had to use it because that's how
Is this
people
yours?
understand.
Is this yours, Marine? Does this belong to you? You don't
It's
like the
true.
word?
I don't like the word creator.
Tell me why not. Tell me. What do you want, producer? What is it? Tell me.
No, artist. Like if you consider yourself that,
Well, see,
honestly, yeah.
But see,
Not an
okay, this is another terminology disparaging, not disparaging, conflict there because I see our stuff, like what we do for, like, let's say for this company, not as an art more as a craft.
Boom. What?
So are you a crafter?
Yeah, I build a sturdy table where you can eat off of.
That is the
An
most
artisan.
Fernando
He's
thing
an
I've
artisan.
ever heard.
I mean, it's true. Like
That's what I'm saying. It's just terminology. Like it doesn't really matter. Like I don't get mad about it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you
Just
why
like,
creator fits is because we're under so many disciplines that stills, video,
Yeah.
documentary, scripted, edit, all of it's so varied to just get something finished that's a message in a bottle to this world.
Yeah.
yeah, it's an encompassing term, just like filmmaker. An audio person is a filmmaker.
It's a filmmaker.
Yeah.
It's a filmmaker.
But
Fernando.
also like most Instagram is like people shooting their daily life, right? That's video logging. That's literally what they're doing. Is video logging their lives.
Yeah.
It's vlogging.
I'm not hating Mary. I swear. It's just, I'll tell you what happened. Me and
It's
Fernando were
terminology.
get into the rooms with the brands before we get the new cameras, and they just go vlog. And we're like, who's a vlogger? You know, it gets to a point where you're just like, why does it have to have a label? Why does it have to have a title? Like, why can't you just self-film?
It's just because it's a little bit narrower of a view. I think that's the disagreement ultimately. I think that's the only thing. Not that people don't vlog, because they do. But again, are they vloggers? Are they YouTubers? Is it the same thing?
I don't know. I mean,
We can get deep with this.
Yeah.
We
Good.
can get very
well,
deep.
where were you guys like an hour ago when I was trying to figure
Yeah,
out something to say to you?
Nikon Z9 cinema camera?
You know, I'll say, as if you want to talk about industry talk, I wouldn't be surprised if Nikon makes a play for cinema at some point. They've been leaning on it, scratching at the door with the Z9, and it's the one area that they don't have compared to other brands right now. They do not have a cinema line. It just seems natural, right? So I don't know if they'll do it. I'm curious if they would. I mean, you're looking at us on a Nikon right now, so I'm curious.
I think from their point of view, it's just a big economical risk, and it's very hard to do it.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Absolutely.
That's why it's
Sony's been around forever in that game. Canon's been around forever in that game. Panasonic even.
I'll tell you
right?
this much, and you know this.
Oh boy.
Oh, Jesus. Why did nothing? Anyway, it's the Nikon camera that I actually enjoyed shooting video in.
That was
the
very
C9.
that was very wild to me because I'm not going to get into this.
Well, no, but before that they were decent. I just preferred other things. And
I've
the
just never
Z9
seen you pick up
actually-
a Nikon, then put it down and go, that was
good.
really good.
that was good.
You know, but it's the philosophy of the brand, and forever Nikon wasn't doing video, so that's what it was. You know. All right, I think
We're good.
I think we're good, man. We got to get some other videos done. Later today, this guy's going live, kids. So Sal D'Alia is going to be here talking about his new season of TTL that's coming up. If you don't know TTL, there is like, what, 8 seasons?
8th season.
8 seasons on this channel
Yeah, he
where he
did his
follows
research.
creators. So check out the TTL playlist. You guys can follow these guys at the lower thirds below. Tim Buzz,
What?
because
You prepared?
look, I put I put thirds. Look, I made them. I typed stuff.
Hey,
Fancy.
look at you.
I know. Thank you. I had Mavis Beacon when I was 8, so, so I typed it. And listen, the Adorama Events channel is the one you guys want to start following if you're into any of the live stuff like this.
Yeah.
I'm doing my live demos over there. All the stuff that just happened. We just had filmmaking with Matteo last
was
night.
good.
That was a good one, and it was underrated. I feel like you guys should all watch that. External mic. Are you asking what kind of external mic?
Just external mic.
I know. I don't think you guys realize that we're not in your head when you're talking. You know. But listen, we can't appreciate you guys anymore. Adorama is absolutely founded on the community, and you guys hold this place up. What we do as a content team doesn't exist without you. It's a 50-50 partnership. So thank you guys so much for being part of this channel. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit like, follow these guys, harass them in the DMs. They love when you guys DM them. DM them every day.
Yes, Brad, 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Please
Eastern.
come, ask questions.
On the events channel, just type Adorama events on search.
Yeah, Adorama events on the YouTube search. And don't forget, this is a living, breathing thing. So let's grow it all together. There was something else I was going to say, and I totally lost it. But this is the first episode, and I'm tired out of my mind. So, oh, yeah, go check out my ZF video. It dropped at midnight last night. If you guys are interested in the new Nikon ZF, midnight that video dropped, and I just put all the stills up on Instagram.
For more Filmmaker stuff, Sam Bray has a Filmmaker Week video later today on this channel.
What time?
5 p.m. 4 p.m.
An assist from Christina. Christina doesn't get enough love, by the way. I just want to give Christina how she's the one organizing this channel. I just want to say thanks to Christina out there. And also, Sam Bray is ill. He is amazing.
Yeah, so good.
And his attitude about things is so awesome that you just want to go do stuff after you've been on his sets. So go check out Sam at 4 p.m. Eastern today. The video will be up afterwards, obviously. And listen, thank you guys so much for taking the time to walk 15 feet and come sit down with me. I appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome, Seth.
Next week, we're going to be doing Daniel Norton, which I think is going to be super cool because we helped build the event space the first time. Now we're in the new space. I want to hear all about it. And you guys know Daniel.
OG.
Come on. The OG. The OG. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.